as they match up with Jimmy Garoppolo and the San Francisco 49ers. With that, let's get you out to Silicon Valley, Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, as we welcome in our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the so-called Silicon Valley and Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. The scene a short time ago. This crowd, they love their 49ers, and they were in full roar as their guys burst out of the locker room. And we're ready for football as the 49ers get set to do battle with Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And, Charles, you take a look at these 49ers as they interplay here. They come in losers of 2 straight, so they're trying to right the ship here a little bit.
They're teetering a little bit, aren't they? And now things could really go south if they lose this game. So they understand the importance of playing well and stopping this streak.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Panthers, they're hitting their stride of late. Winners of 3 of their last 4. Both of these teams about to reach the halfway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. That's fielded in the end zone. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. So here's the first drive now for the 49ers. They'll be led out by their quarterback standing at 6'2" from Eastern Illinois. It's Jimmy Garoppolo.
And he did everything possible to rally his team to a win last week, didn't he? What did he throw for?
Over 450 yards.
I mean, that's a pretty phenomenal performance. So, obviously, he and the offense were clicking pretty well. The other 2/3, though, that comes into question. Defense and special teams. They'll need all of them to play better in this one, too.
And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
Here we go.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. A first carry for the former Falcon, Tevin Coleman. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. Well, no slow start here. A couple nice chunk plays back-to-back.
I love the momentum that they're showing here early because they did it both ways, right? Threw the ball on 1st down for a nice chunk of yardage. Came right back and ran the ball. Looks like they got the defense set back on their heels. Let's see if they can keep this moving.
They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down. Play fake there to Coleman. Now Garoppolo. Coleman has it here right side. Call it a 3-yard gain, and it'll be 2nd down. And a quick look now at the offense for the 49ers.
The 49ers subscribing to the theory that you can never have enough top running backs. Brought in Tevin Coleman from Atlanta to help run Kyle Shanahan's offense. And Coleman is going to be immediately comfortable because he played for Shanahan in Atlanta when he was the offensive coordinator.
That 1st down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. To throw is Garoppolo. Hit from behind, and he's going to be driven down. K1 Short able to record his 5th sack of the season. A few issues here on the offensive line. Apparently, he got sacked 5 times last week. They got to him here in the 1st quarter.
And I would think that running the ball would be paramount here because it's a different team they're facing. But they watch the film as well, so they'll take many of those same principles and try and apply them in this game to see if they fixed what was wrong with them in the last game.
So no sack. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, but it'll still bring up a 4th down.
Well, there was pressure all around him, so the only play was to try and get out of there. I think it was an excellent effort by him.
Now a hit and a loose football. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. And maybe getting a little too cute there on the punt return. Sometimes they forget paramount holding on to that football.
I really do believe most of the return guys think to themselves, when I get the ball, I'm going to make the play that's going to change the game.
Break it.
I'm going to break it. And you love that they have that attitude. But your point is so well taken. What do you have to do? First and foremost,
hold on to it.
Take care of the football. That's all he needed to do. And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
It's a good gain of 11. Sets them up first and goal. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, it's working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. This drive starts with 2 steps forward and now 1 back. A pair of first downs, and here a loss of yardage. From back at the 4, here's second and goal. To throw, it's Garoppolo. That is caught by the tight end, Kittle. Touchdown, 49ers. George Kittle, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Niners have taken the early lead. There was no going through the progressions on that touchdown pass.
Yeah, nor was it necessary. His receiver won that route early, presented himself. No reason to wait. Go ahead and put it on him and score a touchdown.
Robbie Gould on for the extra point. And the 49ers grab a 7-0 lead. So that drive, 4 plays. And the end result for the 49ers, a touchdown. After the touchdown, it's Robbie Gould now to kick it away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. So here are the Panthers now for their opening drive. They're led out by their big-bodied electric quarterback, Cam Newton.
And you've got to think that they've got to be feeling pretty fresh. You know, coming off of the open week, didn't have to play, right? Gives them a chance to rest up a little bit, heal some of those aches and pains, and excited about playing again.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Malcolm Smith came in there hard on the blitz and got him down 9 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, we knew coming in it was going to be a long afternoon if they weren't able to hold up against this pass rush, huh?
What we didn't know was that protection was going to spring a leak on the first play from scrimmage.
Got after him right out of the gate.
And here now the offense for Carolina.
And what a workhorse is Christian McCaffrey, the running back for the Carolina Panthers, who led his team in rushing and receiving yardage in 2018 and was also the team's leading scorer. How about this? Set an edit.
This time for Smith, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jason Verrett. They had him back deep, got the interception, and now they start inside the 10.
Partner, forget starting inside the red zone. They're inside the green zone. From the 10-yard line in, a lot of teams call it that because that's the money zone. Get it into the end zone and make your cash.
The 49ers offense making its way back out there. It's a quick turnaround for them after the turnover, but the way they moved it on their last drive, they're probably eager to get right back at it.
And you know me and you know my tendencies in this situation. What do I want right now?
Be aggressive.
Be aggressive. Take your shot right here.
Time for a look at our starters here on defense. It's quite a unit. Number 1 in the NFL against the pass.
I think if you talk to their head coach, you'll get a nice answer about how much he likes his team and what they're doing. But at the end of it, he would admit there's definitely room to improve.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's second and goal. It's Coleman here. And the D not yielding much there. He's only going to get a yard to about the 2. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on third, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Off the edge, Mario Addison gets the sack.
3rd and goal, they decided to throw for it. But how about the play defensively? Couldn't find anyone open. Left them nowhere to go with the football. Had to absorb the sack.
And the 14-year trusty veteran able to knock it through. And the lead moves to 10-zip. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces them to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. It's what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
So Newton and the Panthers come up now 1st and 10 at their own 27. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Smith catches left side. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards. CD, with that last pass, he joined a group of about 50 other men that are over 30,000 career passing yards. So, look, he's not at the top, but that's pretty good company.
Yeah, it's not the most exclusive fraternity in the NFL. But it's a pretty good one, isn't it? You still have to put some numbers up in order to get in, okay? The secret knock is still there. How about him getting it done? Proud of him.
They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
Yeah, Greg Olsen's back for his 13th NFL season. The last 9 have been in a Panthers uniform. Only 9 games for him a year ago. 7 the season before.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Eric Armstead, the defensive end, will get credited for the sack. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
Out on the field now, here come the 49ers. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point
kicker.
Exactly. You put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about that. Super tall.
It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
All right, Brand, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
From the 38, Garoppolo dancing to his left. He targets Jordan Matthews, and it's caught. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 16 yards, a 1st down.
On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, he was flushed to his left, still on the run, able to accurately throw the football for a nice 1st down.
It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd and 12.
Luke Kuechly combines speed, intelligence, toughness, puts it all together. It makes plays like the one we just saw there. He may not be a big-time blitzer, but, boy, he knows how to pursue straight ahead and make plays in the run game.
Well, prior to that, he had hit his first 6 passes to start the game, so on a nice little run to begin.
It feels like this offense has carried its dress rehearsal into the game. You know, because you do practice it, you do go through it, and in this case, it is clicking exactly like they drew it up. The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? It creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you go make a play on the football.
So you had to figure that sooner or later someone was going to top Matt Prater's record of 64, and officially this one will go in the record books at 65.
You saw him lining up for this, and you just thought to yourself, you know, he couldn't make this. And sure enough, to be here to see it, that's pretty darn awesome.
Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. And it's been a rocky start for them thus far. They had the turnover and then the punt on those first 2 drives.
So there is optimism because they've improved.
Cam fighting. He lost the football. It's out. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers. And he will bring this one back. It's a fumble return for the 49er touchdown. So the big fella gets on the scoreboard with a return for a touchdown. Good thing he didn't have to go too far, though.
You know the trainers were very happy about that. Imagine having to go get him in the end zone, escort him to the bench, and give him the oxygen. They were loving the fact that he got in without having to run very far.
Gold to add the extra point. And that one pushes the lead up to an even 20. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. Fielded about a yard deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Time for our players spotlight, and it focuses in here on Cam Newton. And I guess the question, Charles, is what's the formula for keeping him better protected? Because as we see, the protection, it struggled.
And normally what you get is renewed determination. When the big guy gets hit, that usually sparks people. Hey, we can't let this happen anymore. They take it personally. He's not supposed to be on the ground, but that hasn't been the case so far in this game. So maybe they've got to figure out how do they get rid of the ball faster to help out the offensive line so he doesn't get hit as much.
And we'll see if they can keep him off the ground now going forward.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead them to third down.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
We are in for a good one as we're through one on EA Sports. Ready for the second quarter, and it's our visitors with the football. They've got a 3rd down and 5 to start things out. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. 49ers have an extra defensive back on the field. A nickel set for 3rd down. The shotgun snap for Newton. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
And attempted a deep ball there. They didn't get it. But, boy, they're going to need a few of those to actually hit in order to get back into this game.
Good thing they do have a little bit of time here still left in the contest. Decent-sized deficit, but not one that they can't manage. 49-yard punt, 5 on the return. And the Niners will go on offense. 1st and 10. A reminder, later tonight, Sunday Night Football will see a game in the NFL 100 series. A rematch of the very first AFL-NFL championship game, later, of course, known as Super Bowl I. It pits the Packers against the Chiefs from Arrowhead, and that should be a fun one. Garoppolo to throw on 2nd down. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
Throwing is Garoppolo on 3rd down. And that will be incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. A big boot that time. 57 yards the official distance. And the Panthers will take over now, 1st and 10. Getting set to go again here. Cam Newton marches back onto the field. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular situation, you try and heighten your play a little bit. So far, he's thrown 1 interception. He wants to balance that off with at least 1 touchdown pass in order to get his team back moving forward.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. The former Bill, Chris Hogan, the intended receiver. Throwing on 3rd down, Newton. But now it's 3rd down. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Eric Armstead able to record his 5th sack of the season.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Here's Michael Pilardi now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. That'll be a 48-yard punt, 1 yard on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs.
Here we go.
Garoppolo going to bring the Niners up here 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line. Here's Garoppolo to throw. Open man is Kendrick Bourne. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
Here we go.
And there they went crossing route against the zone defense. What do you think of that?
It takes real coordination between the passer and the receiver because you've got to read those zones and where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone. Sometimes you're throwing it between the zones. Sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot and what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read, but when they're in sync, it's really effective.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
Now a pass dumped off to his running back. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13. On play action, now Garoppolo. Steps away, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. K1 short in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things that's gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. The sack by one of the most consistent D linemen in the game, Gerald McCoy.
We've watched this a long time, and I still don't believe we get it. 3rd and long, why are you calling play action?
Because they're not going to fight defensively, right?
No, not at all. I did have a coach explain to me years ago that for some teams, that's how they have to deal with pass protection and their line blocking. But to me, it seems silly.
Yeah, well, they're silly, and it leads to a play-action sack. So it's not an NFL record, but it's not far off. That'll go in the books as a 61-yard field goal.
And wasn't it weird to see a guy line up for a field goal on the other side of midfield? The ball got halfway there, and you thought, no way is that going to make it. But it just kept carrying and carrying, and he winds up sneaking it right over the bar.
Looking left side, that's caught by Moore. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24.
And that was well defended. And as a cornerback, what you're taught when you see a wide receiver screen, either you get underneath the play before the blocking forms, or you're going to have to fight your way through it by getting through some blocking. That was a really nice play there.
He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, because they bring in your tight end, keep him in, your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
A solid run of 11 there as he tucked it and ran, but he's still short of the marker at its 4th.
I liked his effort there. He got it done on his own. But let's face it, he puts defenses in a really stressful spot when he takes off and runs because a lot of guys have coverage responsibilities.
Good job of rallying, though, because I thought when he first took off, he might pick up the first down. So possession goes over here on the punt, and the offense will come back out deep in their own territory. Tevin Coleman and the rest of the offense making their way back out. So far, been so good this season. Well on his way, as you see, to a 1,000-yard campaign. Is he almost having the type of year to where you say, let's let him get his and we'll control everything else?
That's one way to go about it. Personally, I go about it differently. I'm taking on the bullet. I've got to because he gives his team an identity and confidence. And if we slow him down, now guess what? Everyone starts looking at each other like who's going to make a play. Because he's made all the plays so far. So I have to go get him first. Build my defenses towards shutting him down.
Good luck. I mean, not many teams have been able to do it. We'll see. Now, a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
A lot of contact there, but there was no way it appeared that he was going to get a flag on that one. Looking for it, but he wasn't going to get it. And as an ex-defensive back, you love it when they let you play and jostle downfield.
And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. A gain of 22.
Here we go.
So there on that play, offensively, they ran the crossing route. Defense was in zone coverage. So as a former DB, how tough is it to defend that?
It's really difficult because your natural inclination is to chase the receiver and maybe leave your zone. So you have to have discipline in order to talk to your other coverage guys and let him know that that receiver's crossing from your zone to the next zone. He's coming your way. Make sure you have him. And then when the ball is actually thrown, secure the tackle. When they're moving on crossing routes, if you miss a tackle, it usually results in a big play. Another scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read.
Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. It's Shaq Thompson here with a pick. And they will finally put it into the return, but not until he takes it back all the way inside the 10-yard line. He was looking for Matthews that time. It's almost like you can see the look of frustration on his face. 4 interceptions last week. We talked about it all week. What did he do wrong? And another one here in the first half.
And you can understand the frustration. You actually feel his pain a little bit. But the worst thing he can do is what you're seeing right now, showing the other team that he's frustrated. All they're going to do is double their efforts to make him even more frustrated. He's got to gather himself, compose himself, and keep fighting.
Well, he talked a lot about erasing that loss last week, getting back in the win column. We'll see how he responds. Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. Adrian Colbert, he was right there in coverage. Now here's a whistle as flags come in. And we'll check out the call. That was a third and somewhat manageable, now not so manageable.
Exactly, because you had a play call on that you felt like, hey, this could go quick, and it doesn't take much to get it done. Now, you got to start thinking about a little bit of a deeper route type of a call, especially if you want to throw it.
Now on third down, that pass knocked down in the backfield and incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
After knocking through the field goal, here's Gano back out there now for the kickoff. This is fielded at the goal line. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. The San Francisco offense getting their last-minute instructions before they take over here. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. It's a gain of 22 as we tick towards the 2-minute warning.
They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Garoppolo going to hand this one to Coleman. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. Luke Kuechly, the all-pro linebacker, in on the stop.
When we talk about Luke Kuechly, you can't talk about his overall game without talking about his intelligence and how he controls the whole defense. He quarterbacks that defense, and at times will actually make checks, just like a quarterback would on offense to get them into the right defense. They definitely were on that play. How about that finish, holding that to a minimal gain?
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. And now the Niners going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. Here's a 4-receiver look now. 3 of those guys out to the right side on 2nd and 8. Now Garoppolo being chased out left. And he's just going to get rid of this thing to no one here. He throws it away, and now it's 3rd.
Oh, I like that right there. Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it was the only play.
Yeah, got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing, just chucked it free.
Yeah, live to fight another down, right?
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well. Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, what, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one.
These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. There's DJ Moore as he and the rest of the offense head back out there. With them losing here in the 2nd quarter and his limited productivity so far, you'd have to think they're going to try to look to him a little bit more, right?
I would guess you would start to see maybe some quick screens, some hitches, anything to get the ball in his hands quickly and let him try and do some damage after the catch. Or maybe just flip some formations and keep him isolated where it's more of a one-on-one route and get the ball to him.
I say just 4 verts, right?
Yeah, why not? 4 verts. One of the best routes in football. Hard to cover each guy all the way along the route.
So far, just 1 catch for him. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Newton. They'll set up the screen to McCaffrey. Give him 6 on the screen, but now it's 3rd down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
And he will find his man. That's Hogan complete. And he will have a 1st down here at about the 40. Newton throwing again. And right side caught Hogan. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. 25 yards that time. We often, with Cam Newton, talk a lot about his legs. Don't forget about that arm.
He can throw it on a rope. He can loft it. He's got the touch that's been developed throughout his career. But the big part about just watching him throw it, it seems almost effortless.
A good pickup there. 8 yards on the 1st down completion. Now whistles. Flag down, and I believe one of the Panthers got moving early. And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5. Now after the false start, here's 2nd and 7. To the air again, Newton. Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Picked off by Jason Verrett.
Don't throw this way. Here we go.
15 seconds, all that remains for this 1st half as they come up 1st and 10. And they'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. Nifty running there, but it'll come on what should be the final play of half number 1. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Hi again, everybody. Let's get you caught up with what's going on around the league here in the unofficial midway point, Week 8 of the NFL season. We'll get started over at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in downtown Atlanta, where it was the visiting Seahawks who were able to come away with the road victory. Chris Carson, well over 100 yards on the ground with 3 touchdown runs. From there, we head up to Foxborough to check on the Patriots at home at Gillette Stadium. And they've got the lead in their ball game over the visiting Cleveland Browns. The Pats looking to sew that one up, and they look to be in pretty good shape. Finally, let's get down to the Bayou. Check on the Saints at home at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. And they were winners in that one over the visiting Arizona Cardinals. 17-12 was the final. Meanwhile, our game has been a boat race. Very one-sided to this point. And for the call of the second half, let's get it back to our commentating team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This will be taken in at the 1. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Cam Newton getting ready to go again on offense. And he's had some time to chew on that interception he threw on his last drive back in the first half.
Well, normally we say, want to get him right back out on the field and play again, right? But as you mentioned, had the halftime, had to stew about it a little bit. Maybe he'll have a chance to relax a little and kind of laugh and chuckle and let it go.
He'll hope to respond positively here to start the third quarter. Starting the second half with a run by McCaffrey. Fights off the defender. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And that'll make it 2nd and 12.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12.
Tackle. Check.
They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. It's a gain of maybe 3, but it's going to leave him with still about 8 or 9 to go on 3rd down. Out of the gun, Newton. And an alley to run. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Newton able to use those legs and get past the marker to pick up the first. So an instance there of Cam being Cam. We know he can use his legs.
And with that big body, it's hard to get him down, even if you get a clear shot on him. Plus, he moves it a lot faster than what people think. And boy, does he have fun playing the game of football.
That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Unfortunately for you, you've been around me for a little while now, so you know me as well as anyone and how I look at a game. I don't ever advocate abandoning anything, but in this case, I'm going against my own thought process. You got to change it up. You got to start throwing it around a little bit, finding ways to try and move the ball, because keeping on the ground just isn't working for them.
Yeah, maybe get him the ball out of the passing game, a swing pass outside or something, just something to vary it up. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. That one good for 16 as the drive continues.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
I used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
On 2nd and 7, Newton. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Smith. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
All that practice time came to fruition on that play. All those timing routes that they work on through training camp, OTAs, mini camp, and just regular season, they got it done on that one. An outcut, ball was delivered, and picked up the completion.
Well, forget the run on 3rd and 1. They shock the D and rip off a pretty big play.
They're still looking for their first touchdown of the game, and for a second, I thought they had it right there.
Looking on the sideline, it's finally good to see nods of approval as a welcome sign of life that this offense needed. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's second down. He already has 2 sacks to his credit. Now another tackle for a loss.
And you know how you can always identify who was supposed to block him? They're the ones helping up the person who just gets...
And that will be caught by Moore. He's got a Panthers touchdown. DJ Moore, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Panthers, they're able to draw a bit closer. That's a score you felt they had to have here in the third quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there's an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he's going to get this across the 20 as he's out of bounds at the 23. Here's a look at the 49ers offense as they make their way out for their first possession of the second half. Throwing now is Garoppolo. Over the middle, and he's got Goodwin complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. First down yardage on the first play of the drive. Give him 14.
Some think the teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate.
A fight for the football, and it's intercepted. Dante Jackson picks it, and the possession is theirs at their own 43-yard line. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the second week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out. He's got the lane, and there he goes. Touchdown, Carolina. Christian McCaffrey, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Panthers are able to cut into this lead. Well, this offense only mustered 3 points in the first half on that field goal. They picked up the pace now. 2 third-quarter touchdowns.
Hey, you remember that appearance we had last week in front of that crowd, and they asked about halftime adjustments and all that was going on, and remember what I said. It's not always an adjustment at halftime. Sometimes just remembering the game plan and playing better, tuning it up and just working through it methodically. They got it done in this case.
Of course, I'll always remember that appearance because I had on a brown belt with black shoes, and you pointed that out in front of the crowd. So thanks for that.
I said that out loud?
You did.
My bad.
Graham Gano on for the extra point. And the lead is trimmed down to 10. So 2 plays on that scoring drive. That's how they drew it up. And the long run into the end zone, and what a run it was. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. And San Francisco gets set to go here. They had that first half lead, but they have been shut down here in this third quarter, so time to retool a bit.
And probably need to tap into that emotional vein that gets them back to really playing hard and effectively. Because a lot of times we think it's just play calls and this isn't working and they're shutting them down. Sometimes when you get a lead, you lose your edge. You don't play quite as hard. That's what they're looking for here.
Trying to get that edge back as they've watched this lead shrink a little. So 1 play and they're already just shy of midfield. Now they hand off to Coleman. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That did.
And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. He's picked off near his own 48. And he will bring this one back. It's a pick six for a Panther touchdown.
Keep doing that.
Short throw pick six right there. Those linebackers, they love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
Gano the extra point, and that will shave one more off this lead. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Garoppolo going to bring the Niners up here 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They begin the drive with Coleman. And they're able to get this one across the 35. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup. Successful toss play to the right there. It's interesting. Teams seem to run the toss a lot more to the right than to the left.
It's usually a little more natural. Right-handed quarterback, typically your power side running the ball is to the right side.
Now a loose football. Coleman lost it, and it's picked up by the Panthers. And he is in. Touchdown, Carolina.
Nice touchdown, baby. Keep working.
And a big turning point here in the second half, Charles, after that play.
All you're trying to do is change momentum, flip things around for your team. You're just trying to take the ball away. How about when you take it away and score? That really changes things.
Extra point try good by Gano. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. And you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. Tevin Coleman and the rest of the offense making their way back out. Looking for a bounce back. Had the fumble a moment ago that went for a touchdown the other direction. See if he can get back in rhythm. And his first carry, he loses the football. And it's picked up by the Panthers. And they're going to take over right there at the 22-yard line. Not the trend he wanted to start the season with a fumble lost in both weeks 1 and 2. Now, it's not a disaster, but certainly not what he was looking for.
Got to get that fixed because otherwise he shows up on every scouting report. I remember sitting in defensive rooms and hearing the scouting report from my coaches, and if someone had a particular problem carrying the ball and holding on to it, that was noted. Hey, make sure you get a little extra attention to him. Get after the football. He's dropped it the last couple of games.
That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to second down. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way. Lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you move the ball.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. D. Ford, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
So if we recount real quick, he had the touchdown earlier, and now he comes up with the sack here. No doubt about it, he's having himself a game.
And he's going to go down again. Nick Bosa able to record his 5th sack of the season.
For a rookie first-rounder, he's made a huge impact on this defense, but that tells me that they had a plan for him when they drafted him. Just turn him loose, do what you do best, go get the quarterback.
So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. This from 54 yards away. And Gano's kick is right through. And that'll make this a 7-point game. So not sure how they feel about that. They have golden field position to start the drive after the fumble recovery, but they went backward and then got 3.
Well, let's go from gold to silver, because the silver lining is they got the 3, right? You were talking about the golden field position. They didn't take advantage of it. That has to feel like a letdown.
You always stand ready to pounce. Always. Garoppolo going to bring the Niners up here 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Now a throw right side taken in here to start this drive. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. Call that a very strong gain of 24.
I know we just saw a nice throw and catch. But how about the big guys up front buying that time? Yeah, that's exactly what they did. They created time and allowed the space to happen, and it turned into a really nice play.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Gerald McCoy is always going to be linked with Ndamukong Suh. They came into the NFL in the same draft class. There was a lot of debate about who was going to be the better defensive tackle. They just do it 2 different ways. McCoy, more movement, more elusiveness. That allowed him to make the play there for a short gain.
From the gun on 3rd, Garoppolo. And that is incomplete. The all-pro linebacker Luke Kuechly right there on the coverage, stride for stride.
Let's give some credit to the defensive guys on that play. Able to bat that one away. Sure looked like they were trying to hit the corner route.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. Christian McCaffrey and the Panthers about set to go on offense. He's had a good 3rd quarter. He likes whatever adjustments were made at halftime, whether those were team adjustments or just him talking to himself.
And whatever that conversation was, it was pretty good because he is running really well here in the 3rd quarter. But I like to think it is a team adjustment. Offensive line, those big escorts of his, they figured out how to block a little bit better. He's found those holes to run through.
He has indeed.
An opportunity to get a drive started here at the end of the 3rd quarter. What you're trying to do is break the game down a little bit. Don't let your guys see too deep into the game, into the future, and say, oh, we got to get here. No, right here, right in front of them, melt the clock down, get to the 4th quarter, try and keep going.
And try to keep that lead.
Exactly. And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They've become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at 3rd down here. Now Cam, option left, and he gets it to the 34, good enough for the first. He has enough for the first down on the keeper, a gain of 6.
And while it's highly unusual for NFL teams to think about using their quarterback on key 3rd down runs, none of those teams, save one, has Cam Newton. He's unique, one of the biggest quarterbacks you'll ever see. Give him the ball, let him pick it up.
There to stop him on the defensive side, Fred Warner. Well, with the fumble he had earlier, we know how key keeping the football is here. That fumble earlier probably at the forefront of his mind. Just hold on to this thing.
It's also at the forefront of the mind of the guys who are trying to get the ball from him. And since they've seen him drop it on the ground before, they're doing everything possible to have him do it again. They need that turnover.
And the tight end Olsen, right side. And he'll go out of bounds. It appears right at the 45. Newton to Olsen there for a Carolina first down.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on 3rd down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively a backbreaker. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. The pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
Now Newton. And open here is Hogan. He's got it. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. And a big 32-yard play on 3rd.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. That little arc on it, he's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
Single, slot.
From the 22, Newton and Olsen over the middle. And they'll get this down to the 10. 12 yards there and a first down. So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. On first and goal, they'll try the option left. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And it'll be second and goal.
And on this play, the read for the quarterback was the defensive end, and he was totally focused on the quarterback. He should have given it off inside to the running back. Instead, he kept it and ended up taking a loss on the play.
Nothing doing there as the 13th play of the drive proves to be unlucky.
And this is why the head coach gets paid the big bucks. Look at where they are in this situation, partner. Do you throw the ball here in a long-distance situation? Do you run it again and trust your defense and make sure you take care of the ball and punt it away? What kind of options do you have here, and what do you trust more on your team?
Yeah, they may have just pushed him back into that throwing situation. We'll see. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
So that's a big one. Obviously, Charles makes it a 2-score game. His third field goal of the game, able to knock it through.
Yeah, not exactly free and clear yet, but as a defense, you get to play a little bit looser, don't you? Because you do now have a little bit of a margin of error, don't you?
The San Francisco offense getting their last-minute instructions before they take over here. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
To throw again on second down. Garoppolo on the screen. This is Coleman. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. 16 yards, a first down.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks. And they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together? He's going to rifle, and his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Trey Boston. And they will finally get him down as he's all the way to the 36-yard line. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it, and that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
Now the Auburn alum, Artis Payne. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football. Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
He'll grab 3 yards on the play, taking it himself for the first down.
And what a weapon to have when you can use your quarterback as a short yardage runner and pick up first downs.
Cam's going to run the option right. And this play gets blown up. They'll lose yardage. Back at the 17. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. Well, no doubt here in the 4th quarter, this is a huge defensive series.
Hey, they can read the scoreboard. They realize if they give up a field goal here, this game might be out of reach. They understand the stakes and are playing accordingly.
They'll run it with Artis Payne. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. The tackle there by Richard Sherman. An extra DB for the 49ers now on 3rd. From the gun, here's Newton. Flush to his right. He may try and run for this. He'll wind up getting 4 yards there on his own, but it also brings up 4th down.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
Gano's kick is good, and that will stretch the lead up to 13. So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but it's still ate up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
So now the Niners down by 13. At time, a huge factor. They're in danger of a 3rd straight loss as they come up on 1st and 10. The throw on the quick slant going to be complete, and he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down.
Well, there's times when you see these catches that are made, and we just know the guys playing it are really wishing for college.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. It's the Pro Bowler Luke Kuechly that picks it. Matthews, the intended target. Both defenses have had their struggles, but they've been good enough to get them this lead, and another nice play there to help preserve the lead.
It's been a game of punch-counter-punch, hasn't it? All throughout. But this time, the big swing was taken, and it didn't land. Nice play by them on defense.
Fresh out of the locker room, they hit him with a gain of over 20.
Brandon, sometimes it just comes down to the power of suggestion, because I know exactly what they said all week long. We're coming off the open week. We'll have the fresher legs in the 4th quarter, and they will wilt when we get to that point. And right now, it appears that they're thinking that exact thing.
Yeah, offensively, they had the bye last week. Defensively, did not. Is that really a big factor? Is that more talk during the week?
I think the more that you talk about it, the more that you emphasize it, the more sometimes it comes true for your team.
That was excellent from start to finish, from the blocking to the running, just well executed.
And now let's look ahead, because after that, how about a little play action, maybe a little bootleg, and get the quarterback out on the corner and give him a little run-pass option.
Now they're right down here looking for 6. That's going to set him back 5 yards. So a little bit of a stiffer challenge now. 1st and 15 following the delay of game. And this play gets blown up. They'll lose yardage. Back at the 17. A loss of 2 there. 2nd down. So this one is over. A victory for Carolina. And they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half that put this one on ice.
So you get the sense that whatever was said at halftime obviously hit home. I think it's a little bit more than that, though. Obviously, there are words that are said, and, hey, come on, guys, we have to play better. But sometimes it's just sharpening your execution, sharpening your focus, and maybe doing the things you practiced all week without major adjustments, just doing them better. And that got it done in this one.
So for Carolina, that's now 5 wins on the campaign as they get the job done here. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for San Francisco, they fall a game under the 500 mark at 3-4 through 7 games. And they'll try to rebound next week as they head to Glendale to take on the Cardinals. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles.